missing a +2 to my
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the world of Arendar, where we last left off. The majority of the party made it off of the boat, the mermaid's Tarantella, and made their way into the city of Cavenchas, where from there the party ended up kind of splitting off. Amelia went to partake of the services at the brothel, claiming proudly that she was going to break in the new girl, and instead was left barely able to walk after the barbarian that she chose got done with her. Kaisetria, Umi, and one gnome named Ashira decided to run pell-mell towards the frozen throne that is in the middle of Cavenchas, causing quite a disturbance as they went sprinting through the icy streets, causing a fair bit of destruction along the main road. The rest of the crew, minus Satek, were making their way towards the inn, Hearth and Home Inn and Tavern, when they stumbled across a small girl that was in one of the alleyways. Lilith, discovering some information from her patron god Centris, claims that they must do everything within their power to be able to help this small child and the subsequent children that started popping up and around them. The small girl showed quite the affinity for magic and for puzzle solving, and Kassir offered them a place in his mansion. But that brings us to Satek. Satek, you find yourself on the boat, the Mermaid's Tarantella, and looking around, all of your crew and friends seem to have kind of abandoned you. Now, granted, you have spent the last couple of weeks rather sick due to the choppiness of the waves and the fact that you are a much more land-based rogue than you ever were a seafaring one. After what seems like forever, though, you finally stumble off the boat and you make it to the docks. The milling of the dock workers around, the noise and the smell, you're just on the outskirts of the city. As you start kind of wobbling your way up the dock, heading towards the main path that leads up to the city gates, you spy something off in the distance. There's somebody out, maybe about 100 feet away, that as they're walking, quite clearly hammered, they drop something, and you hear the distinct sound of the clinking of coins in a small leather pouch. And doing what any good rogue would do, as the good Samaritan that you're not, you go over and you bend down to pick up this bag of coins. The moment that you bend over to grab a hold of them, you hear the whistle something through the air, and then feel a sharp pain on the back of your head, and it all goes to black. Upon waking up, you find yourself in a, how shall I put this? Dark and damp cavern. Low torchlight, candlelight flickering on the walls around you. And as your eyes kind of groggily open, you start seeing these hooded figures kind of shuffle around you, voices kept low and rather hushed. And you realize that you are strapped to a table, an altar, really. But more disconcerting, other than the fact that you are tied down and rather defenseless, is the fact that you are bleeding profusely from both of your wrists, quickly. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please, and thank you.
Constitution saving throw. Not one of my good stats.
You're fine.
You're fine, says the cleric. as you struggle and strain, you realize that you've probably been in this position for a fairly decent amount of time. And you're so weak from blood loss that you are kind of unable to free yourself or get any traction from any of the movement of your arms and legs. You were rather securely tied down. And you realize that the more you struggle, more than likely the faster you're going to bleed out. Your wrist daggers, your hidden blades, such as they were, are no longer strapped to your wrists as well. So you don't really have the option of trying to cut yourself free. But as you start grunting and moving around, one of the hooded figures comes over to you. And he just kind of leans down and says,
"Ah, you're finally awake. Good. Sacrifices are generally better accepted when their conscience."
I'm just gonna spit in his face.
Go ahead and make a dex roll at disadvantage. It's just a straight dex at dis.
Put it on yourself.
18 is enough. You managed to dribble out enough spit that it just kind of like splatters against his face. And you hear this low, throaty chuckle.
"Ah, the ones with a little fight in them are always the best."
And he gives the side of your face like a condescending pat, as if you're like a small, petulant child.
"Now be a good boy and stay there."
And as he backs away, the firelight starts to swell, almost thrum with a sort of energy. And you hear this low chanting. Go ahead and make either an Arcana check or a Religion check.
Oh boy, they're both about the same. So I'm just gonna do Arcana, I suppose.
Oh, with a 17, that's pretty fucking decent. As they start this chanting, you don't know who they're talking about, but you understand that they're using their words to kind of weave together this spell. And as they're speaking, the ground around you starts to glow, and you realize, craning your head over one of your shoulders, that your altar that you are placed upon is in the middle of this massive magic circle. And as this chanting is going on and this spell is being kind of crafted, you catch hints of the magical nature of the words, and it is talking of death and rebirth and a final sacrifice and ultimate power, blotting out the sun. Very generic, very dark intent behind these words. But you don't know who this ritual is technically for, based off of your Arcana roll. But you do understand they are crafting almost a unique spell into the summoning circle. What would you like to do?
I just want to kind of like survey my surroundings a little bit and just see if I can get a little bit of a lay of the land, so to speak.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Ooh.
Was that a natural noob?
No, because I have the fucking reliable talent. So any roll less than a 10 is a 10.
Good man. Fucking. I mean, you still get a +8. So Satek rolled a natural 1, but reliable talent. However, I do believe, and I'll double check on this. For this roll, I will allow it. I do believe, though, that even with reliable talent, a nope is still a nope. If you roll a natural one, regardless of natural talent. But for this roll, I'll allow it because I think it's funny. You blink away the exhaustion from your eyes, and you start scanning the room with practiced intent. You're quite used to finding yourself in dark and damp places, generally at the behest of a gnome, as you try to find a way out or something that you can use to either identify where you're at, or some leverage to maybe free yourself. And as you're looking around this room, the first thing you hear is the dripping of water. And very, very far off in the distance, almost like you're underground of it, you do hear the lapping of waves, as well as the very occasional sound of humanity, kind of above you, but distant, kind of hollow, as if it's traveling through rock and dirt, and the sound, as little as it is echoing into whatever entrance to this cave is. You are able to make the assumption that you are somewhere near the docks, probably underneath them by 30 or 40 feet into the ground. So you're in an underwater area of the site of Cave of Jaws. But as you're looking around, the chanting gets stronger and stronger, and that hooded figure steps in front of you one last time. David, make a Constitution saving throw for me at disadvantage, please. It has taken all of your energy up until this point to remain any sort of conscious, Jesus. As he leans over you, your eyes start to fade to black, and you realize that, frankly, at this point, you've lost too much blood. There's almost nothing that you can do. And right as you go to draw your last breath, you feel a very sharp pang in the side of your neck, and you lose whatever light your eyes were able to see as the chanting comes to a halt. Back to the rest of the party, you guys find yourself near the wishing well, having struck a deal with Kassir to allow the group of small children to find a home within Kassir's mansion, with Kassir stating that there was a high likelihood that they would be able to learn things like alchemy and magical knowledge, and basically giving these orphans a potential shot at life. But all that being said, it is remarkably cold at the current moment. The snow is falling down faster than ever, and it is rather chilly as the wind is starting to pick up, whipping around where the well is at, throughout all the city streets, and starting to bite down pretty hard. Avala's joints are once again freezing up, as are most of you guys, and you realize that as the day approaches nighttime, you guys are stuck in the middle of town with a gaggle of children, and getting colder by the minute. What would you guys like to do?
I thought Avala doesn't freeze anymore.
Well, she doesn't completely freeze solid, but her joints will still get stiff. Like she's made of metal.
Has Kassir summoned the mansion thingy?
Yeah, he summoned it, and the children walked through into the mansion, and then he closed it right after, basically, to get them out of the cold.
Am I able to walk, or am I still covered from the night before?
Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Constitution, right? One second.
Do I notice that Aval is freezing solid again?
You notice that her movements are more herky jerky. Amelia, you're actually doing pretty okay. Quick sidebar: when Amelia ran up on the party, you guys did notice a little bit of what we like to call in the industry stick up the ass kind of movements, where there was a little bit of walk of shame mixed with absolute euphoria. But for the most part, it is worn off Amelia. A brisk jog, and by brisk I mean absolutely fucking submit your figure to the glass factory sorts of hold, was enough to kind of shake you out of that stupor. You will be probably a little sore tomorrow, but not in a manner that's going to affect you. You do notice Avala being a little bit more herky-jerky with her movements. She's not freezing to the ground like she was before, but you are starting to notice that she is less graceful in her overall motions. She is standing there kind of like shuffling her feet back and forth, trying to retain some movement in her extremities.
Well, Aval is freezing again. Now that the kids are safe, we're back on the track of getting to the inn.
Okay. Because you guys are in kind of this lower section, you guys look around you, and it looks like it's mostly residential houses, not quite slums, but not very well off. You do see close to you a rather large circular structure that has a hole in it. It is clearly a well. It looks like some sort of community well. But you guys don't really know which direction to go to find accommodation. You have a couple of options. You can knock on somebody's door and ask for directions. You could stop one of the city guard and ask them for assistance, or you can kind of wing it yourself. Or you can toss a coin into the well.
I'm holding on to the back of the gnome. Fucking dumbass, I rolled levels.
I'm gonna toss a coin in.
Okay. You reach into your pocket and you pull out a small golden coin, and you just kind of flick it up in the air, and the light shining down through the brief breaks and clouds here and there kind of catches it, and it glints, and then it falls over the side and falls. It falls for such a long time that you start to wonder if maybe there's nothing like actually down there, and then you hear this kind of little clink in the bottom, and a sort of magical chime noise, if you wanted to call it that just tinkles out, almost like it's a whisper on the wind. And as you do this, Lilith, a really strong urge to go north up the hill kind of overtakes you. And then it kind of passes, and then a couple of seconds later, another really strong urge to go north up the hill kind of overtakes you.
Okay, first things first, keep the gnome away,
Of course.
and then we need to go north.
Okay, so I'll let you know that we kind of did a little bit of city property damage. So, just letting you know, let's go.
Everybody that is not named Satek, please make a perception check.
25.
18 plus 4, 22.
22. Oh wow, everybody above 20. In fact, at the moment that Kaisetria is explaining the folly of the gnome, you guys hear down one of the back alleys the commotion of armored individuals shouting about a little blue-skinned hellion who tore up all of Main Street. That was accompanied by 2 armed guardians, and clearly this must be a demonic summoning ritual, and that somebody has let loose a demon in the city.
Oh, they haven't seen fucking shit. We've got a lich in our back pocket.
You really should have. You really should have just kept that one back there. You really should have. Anyways, so Layla says,
go.
"Hey, go north."
Get the fuck out of here.
Freezing my pointy little ears off.
Freezing my tentacle off.
That just makes it rock hard. You have a rock hard fucking tentacle in your pants.
Does it shrink?
But yeah. Layla,
Sushi popsicle.
that feeling is rather strong for you. Go ahead and roll survival for me at advantage.
That's 16 plus 4.
20. Okay. As you are weaving your way through the buildings, you're able to dodge most of the guards. There is one that spots you, and starts walking your direction. But this is right as you guys round a corner. And Kaisetria puts a bag over the head of the gnome. And as you guys round this corner, he loses sight of you, and you guys are able to make it up the hill towards towards the ice district. And as you guys are maneuvering your way through, you do see the comforting light of the Hearth and Home Inn and Tavern, and that is directly ahead of you guys. It takes you about 45 minutes. Now, granted, the city streets are unfamiliar to you, and Cave and Chosk is absolutely massive. But on your way there, Layla, you would have seen the very large cathedral that is inset on a small island surrounded by a lake, but that lake is basically all ice right now. It is all glass. But you would have seen the very large cathedral off on the left, and then as you make your way through the ice district, you guys would be heading towards Hearth and Home Inn and Tavern. Takes about 45 minutes to get from the Wishing Well to where you guys are at, just due to the size. But you guys make your way to the Hearth and Home Inn and Tavern, and it's a large, rather stately building. It looks to be a couple of stories tall. Icicles, of course, hanging from the roof as the evening sun starts to set in over the city of Cave and Chosk. That little bit of light peeking through the snowstorm that is going on is refracting off of those icicles and kind of casting scattered rainbows over the snow in front. And it is at this moment that you guys, having braved a blizzard, having discovered a small group of orphan children, having caused chaos in the middle of downtown Cave and Chosk, it is at this moment that you guys make the realization as you cross the threshold into the tavern. Where the fuck is the rogue? Zatek.
Did Amelia find us?
Yes, Amelia made it back to you guys.
Okay.
Zatek. Hours, days, months. You're unsure. But your eyes slowly open. And something strikes you. You've always had fairly good dark vision. But you now have the ability to see in the dark as if it was perfect day. And as you kind of blink your eyes open, the first thing that strikes you is the absolute overwhelming exhaustion, coupled with the insane hunger that you feel. And standing above you is a hooded figure.
Welcome, my scion of the night.
Nope.
This is going to be an issue for everyone.
What the fuck just happened?
Well, clearly, you were chosen. Now, it was ultimately up to you whether or not you were going to survive, but clearly you're a cut above the rest of the tests that we have performed. We have been in need of a how shall I put this? Faithful servant to carry out commands. You happen to be a likely candidate.
I didn't sign up for this shit.
No, we are quite a bit beyond asking for your permission, dog. All that is left now is the binding words, at which your freedom, your choices, will become little more than distractions. They will be unnecessary. You will live to serve the will of the Abyssal One.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on that.
Well, unfortunately for you, I don't give a damn what you think.
And he reaches out a hand. And Satek, you're still strapped down. You're still quite weak. And you've got this almost feverish feeling all through your body. It's like every joint, every nerve is on fire. And he reaches out a hand. And the hand has this like ethereal dark energy at the fingertips. And he puts it on your forehead. And he starts to chant. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw of 16 for me, please.
16.
Yep. That is a natural one. Ugh, brother. Oh, brother. He starts to chant, and your head starts swimming, and it's being bombarded with this almost sequencing of information, as if he is overriding your personality, your ego, your thoughts, the things that make up who you are. And he is instead replacing them with orders. He is replacing them with a will and a desire to serve the Abyssal One. And the more you try to fight it, the more your nerves and your joints catch fire. And you struggle and struggle, but it's getting harder and harder to even think straight, much less fight it back. He continues his chanting. Go ahead and make another Constitution saving throw for me. This is a DC of 18. As this chant goes on, minutes turn to hours, hours turn into days in your mind, and you can start to feel your your personality slip. You can start to feel your otherworldly, or I should say your outwardly skin sloughing off as you are reborn into a creature of the night. And as the binding pact kicks in, one thought permeates your mind, which is, I serve the will of the master. You have one more chance. I need to make a Constitution saving throw. The DC is 20. If you roll a natural 20, you will have passed all of them, even though you failed 2. So there's a small chance.
Yeah, very small chance. And of course, I mean, you're doing Constitution, which is my worst fucking stat.
That's a natural fucking 20.
Be so fucking for real.
And there's still a chance.
The binding words take hold. And then as they permeate your very being, you hear the voice of Centris in the back of your mind. And you open your mouth to scream. And instead of a scream comes the echoing, thundering, wave-crashing voice of the goddess herself. You will not touch one of mine. And the chains rupture on your arms as you launch off the table and grab the side of this priest's neck and rip his head off.
Fuck yeah. That's very, very close to what I was planning on doing.
However, that moment of exertion, that moment of pure, unbridled, unholy rage, your vision goes black for just a moment and you fall to your knees. This intense hunger welling up inside you. But not for ale or bread or meat. Instead, for a more visceral substance. A substance that you have now acquired in front of you, pooling out onto the ground.
Makes the grass grow.
Well, I am apparently starving, so I'm just gonna grab the, headless corpse and just, start going to town on the blood that's squirting out of it.
Okay.
Oh,
As you sink your teeth right, like over, excuse me, where the carotid artery is, the last vestiges of his heart pumping fills your mouth with the life-giving essence of another mortal being. However, because you are very unused to this, the taste, the raw iron taste of pure blood makes you nauseated almost immediately. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. You violently retch all over the floor, which has been kind of your MO for like the last 3 weeks on a boat. But realizing that unless you stomach it down, then you're going to die in this cave, you manage to consume enough blood that you're able to get to your feet and you start wandering your way towards the upper lip of the cave. The dead, bloody body cooling behind you. Looking around, though, you don't see any of the other clan members, if we want to call them that. You don't see any other participants of the ritual. But you do see the presence of numerous individuals that had been there. Make a perception check for me. As you turn away, a small little glint catches your eye, and looking down at the headless corpse, and then over to where his head had rolled off to his side. You see his face twisted into a death snarl. The pointy canines of a vampire attached to the head of the priest that you have since consumed.
Oh, so that would be why I was, throwing up everywhere. So I'll look at it and just be like, the fuck? And just want to look around the rest of the room.
Yeah. It's a fairly nondescript cave. There is like I said, there's the altar in the middle that you were snapped, or that you were chained to. The chains, of course, are now basically ripped asunder, borderline disintegrated. The altar itself, with the wrathful force of your goddess on your side, has basically been broken into small pieces. There was a relief carved into the altar, but with the force of your godly awakening almost, it has been borderline pulverized. You might be able to grab a fragment here or there, but not enough to tell you who the altar was to. But besides the lone individual who's now headless on the ground, you are the only person in there. It's a small cave, maybe 5 or 8 to 10 feet wide, 9 feet ish tall. It's large enough to have an altar and maybe about 4 or 5 other individuals in there, but there's not really any supplies. It very much looks like a ritual site that's kind of hidden and out of the way.
Okay. I just sit and, I guess, look around for the rest of my gear. For all of my clothing. My blades.
Yeah, looking down, you realize that you are bits hanging in the breeze, and you look around the part of the chamber that you're in, and you don't see anything. As you start walking up towards the lip of the cave, you do notice a small, what appears to be kind of storeroom off on one side, and inside is a chest containing your gear, and then on the table is a small pouch of 12 gold pieces, and then a potion of unknown origin as well.
I will take all of them.
Okay. You equip your gear. It takes you a little bit of time, particularly because this overwhelming exhaustion is just kind of omnipresent. There's almost no way for you to avoid it. You feel like you've run a marathon in the most inclement conditions possible, but you make your way towards the surface, the lip of the cave, kind of stumbling as you go. And as you pass out of the cave, the first thing that hits you is you don't really feel the cold. Like, it was freezing as fuck earlier. But as you cross the threshold outside, you can tell that the wind is blowing because you can hear it. But you don't really feel it. You do notice that it's dark at this stage, and Cave and Joss, of course, is still a ways off in the distance. But you're not really quite sure what has happened. So you take off in a sprint towards Cave and Joss. A nice brisk jog. After about 20 minutes, making your way up the hill, heading towards the city gate, you pause for a breather. Except, your heartbeat's not really increasing. Your pulse isn't fast. In fact, you don't have one of those. You stop to catch your breath and realize, well, I don't really need to do that. I'm not winded. I'm not breathing heavy. In fact, I'm not really breathing at all.
this could come in handy. Fucking weird, but it could be useful.
There's, as you're making your way up to Cave and Chance, you see torchlight making their way down from the city, and something instinctually, almost like a wild animal out in its element, something tells you to hide.
So then I shall do just that. Is there like any trees or anything nearby?
There's a small outcropping of rock that is the closest thing to you, but it's casting a fairly decent shadow as the moonlight is like flitting in and out through the clouds and the snowfall. So yeah,
I will like to hide in the shadows of the rock.
you step into the shadow, and it's as if you are not there. Not even you're actively trying to hide. It's as if you step into the shadow and you have become almost one with it. And this group of guards walks by, torches aloft, and you hear them muttering about destruction in the main thoroughfare, and that they're on the lookout for a tiny blue demon, accompanied by 2 heavily armed female guards. But they pause within maybe a foot and a half of you, and you're just standing there, and it's as if they do not see you. Their eyes pass right over the top of you. One holds the torch above his face, as if he's warding off the snow, and they make their conversation and continue on their way down to the docks.
I'm just gonna think this one to myself and just be like, oh god, this is gonna be amazing. And once they're, well enough out of, earshot, or at least if I think they're out of earshot, I'm just gonna start booking it back towards the, actually, yeah, no, I'll book it back towards town.
Okay. It takes you a couple of hours. You make it to the city gates perfectly fine. But Cave and Chance, being on a bit of a peninsula, with the sea kind of cupping around it, the main gates to the city are closed every night. It's one of the most fortified towns in all of Arendar. And it takes some persuasion and some showing of papers from Captain Barnabas and all that lovely stuff, and the guards do manage to crack the gate open enough for you to slip inside. They give you directions towards the Hearth and Home Inn and Tavern, and after about a 2-hour walk, simply because you've never been great with directions, you finally make it to the front door of the Hearth and Home Inn and Tavern and stumble inside to see the rest of the party thawing out near the fireplace. Avala is trying to loosen her joints. The gnome has a firm grasp, or Kaisetri has a firm grasp on the back of the gnome. But you guys hear the door creak open, and with the winter storm blows in a Sate, looking rather pallid, as if he's had quite the ordeal. But yeah, he stumbles in through the snow into the tavern. What are you guys doing?
It's a great question. I'm freshly whiteless.
Well, while they're deciding, I want to walk up to the, tavern keeper and just be like, I want one of your strongest.
He looks you up and down, almost a little unsure of whether or not you're a patron he particularly wants to serve. But then he weighs his option, which is having to step in and confront the gnome who's currently kicking the air like a bicycle as Kysetria lifts her up by the nape of the neck, and he slides you a glass of brandy.
Does she still have the bag on her head?
Yes.
Cool. Just shake her a little bit. I'm recording.
I think we need to put a leash on her again.
Okay.
And maybe not of rope, maybe more sturdy. I'm just like toasting by the fire because cold.
Dead
Yeah.
lizard.
Lizard on Sunny Rock.
Kysetria. Satek walks in the door, gets a glass of brandy, and is his usual brooding loner self. But as he walks by, something just doesn't sit right with you. Now, granted, you have your hands full dealing with a demon child, according to the guards. But as he walks by, it's like every hair on the nape of your neck stands straight up.
Hey, wait, come back here. Where were you?
Out and about,
No.
trying not to get sick.
You're a full-grown adult.
Make a deception check, Satek.
Just shake the fucking gnome.
Deception check.
That's a natural one. I mean, Kysetria, make a insight check. Because you can still also roll a natural one.
This.
Never mind, that's a dirty fucking 20. She looks at you. You're fucking lying through your ass.
Sure you were at some point out and about. You look like shit.
Never felt better.
Make a persuasion check? Because that one's technically true. Oh, that's a 27. Make another insight check.
Let's fucking go.
Oh,
Go fuck yourself.
weirdly enough, he's kind of telling the truth. Like, he's clearly his wrists have been slashed. Like, they haven't healed. And he's pallid and he looks feverish and he is hunched over as if he's racked by great pain. But there's not a lie in these words. Whereas you were clearly able to tell that he was being less than forthcoming with the truth in his first statement, this second statement contradicts his entire appearance. But it is true.
Do you want me to take care of those for you, or are you going to go to bed?
I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And I'm just
Take
gonna
a shower too. God damn.
good idea. I'm gonna down the brandy, ask for another, and then go find a room.
He slides you a second one. But say, Tech, something's a little weird. As you're drinking this brandy, and in fact, you're shotgunning it, you clearly recall asking for his strongest. And yet, with each subsequent shot that you take, the more you're kind of convinced that he just handed you a glass of water. It's got the taste of brandy, but it doesn't have any of the burn. It doesn't have any of the feel-good happy juice. And you make it through about 5 or 6 of them before it starts to dawn on you that poison, of which alcohol is technically amongst that list, generally only affects those who are alive.
Well, shit.
Congratulations. By signing up to become a vampire, you now have to deal with Ashira, and you can't get hammered as your reward.
Well, that's a downside.
Satan goes, hey, take it back. I don't want to be a vampire anymore. I'd like to get him.
Please no.
I almost made him sparkle just as like I was very close, but it's actually some fucking invisible fairy behind him throwing like glitter on him every time he walks into the sunlight. But so yeah, Satek, you down about 6 or 7 of these, make the realization you can't get hammered anymore, and dejectedly walk upstairs. But as you've left enough gold on the table to pay for your room. But as you make it up the stairs, one thought kind of crosses your mind. Well, shit. I wonder what they were trying to bind me to. You contemplate that level of importance, and you go crash in bed. As you dream, visions flood your mind. Your body is racked with pain as you relive the last 8 or so hours. It's almost like you're viewing your body from a third-person perspective, hovering above the altar where you were strapped down, watching them slice into your veins and drain your blood out, it filling basins, them summoning their magic and creating that magic circle from your blood. You waking up, the hooded figure standing over the top of you. You are able to account for 5 total individuals. The one that you physically saw standing above you, that said that you were to be a thrall, and then the 4 that were on the cardinal directions of the summoning circle. But your body is racked with pain, and you're only able to get 2, maybe 3 hours of very fitful sleep before you wake up with a crash, lying on the floor of your in room. The blanket, thin though it might be, kind of wrapped around you like a snake, as it has constricted your movements. A cold sweat on your brow. Everybody else that is not currently in bed, what are you doing other than warming yourself by the fire and finding out that the rogue is lying?
Hi.
Hello there.
It's a Jenny.
That's a Janny.
Sorry, I was snuggling with someone and I fell back asleep.
No worries. All good.
What'd I miss?
Satek's a vampire.
Besides Satek being a vampire.
Satek got abducted, and he rolled a nat nope on his first Constitution saving throw. He then rolled a 6, and then he had one final one, and I said, it's a 20, and you basically have to roll a natural 20, and he fucking rolled a nat 20. So, he was able to
If
resist.
there's any time to do it.
He was able to resist becoming a thrall. But yeah, he's gonna have some cool abilities. But yeah, so everybody's in the Hearth and Home Inn and Tavern, thawing themselves out in front of the fireplace. Kaisetria knows that something is wrong with Satek, but she doesn't know what it is. But when she questioned him about it, she does know
I heard all that.
he's lying. Okay, perfect. That's basically long and short of it. But yeah, everybody else that's in the inn, it is closing in on evening time. What are you guys doing other than warming yourself?
Talk to Lalith about Satek.
Okay, go ahead.
So you're spooky. Sure.
Okay.
The other spooky is acting a little spookier than usual. He lied to me about it. Would you be able to find out what's going on with him?
I mean, I can.
There's no pressure.
Take some garlic with you just in case, because I feel like you might know what's going on with him.
Yeah, I can talk to him.
Just want to make sure that everyone's okay. Or else it's my failing. So no pressure.
I mean, you could try and stick the gnome on him and see what happens.
Whose bite
He's
is
not gonna tell shit or fuck to the gnome.
stronger? Satek's blood draining bite or 4 chaos that every once in a while will hit somebody for 500 psychic damage?
Seems far.
Can I rather not get bit in the neck? Thank you. I've already been bitten enough last night. Thank you very much.
Just as a quick heads up, Michael, Amelia has no idea that Satek is a vampire. So, player knowledge you do, but character knowledge you do not. You have no idea. The only one who's got any sort of inkling is Kaisetria, and all she knows is something is wrong. She doesn't know what it is.
Something's wrong and something's different. And I need to know about it. As the babysitter.
I feel like as the babysitter, you would know by now.
You didn't say shit or fuck to me!
There's a brief moment, Kaisetria, where it's almost like you're disconnected from Kaisetria's body, and you have ascended to the ethereal plane known as Joey. And Joey thinks for a brief moment, what if the DM allows Satek to bite Ashira, and now you have a vampire gnome on your hands? Oh no.
That crossed my mind.
Oh
You're
fuck
gonna be
no.
fucking sick, dude. Well, if it's harm to the party. However, okay, so then we have a shitty little gnome dog.
Christ. Avala, you've been kind of thawing out your joints near the fireplace. You're rotating like the world's largest metal spit in front of the open flame, kind of thawing out your metallic buns. But you...
I don't have metallic buns though.
Well, for sake of argument, you're thawing out metallic buns. As you rotate, you manage to catch the very hushed conversation of a quite concerned Kaisetria, who still has a very firm grip on a small childlike figure with a bag on its head that you can assume to be the gnome. But you You catch glimpses of this conversation, Kysetria imploring Leyland for help. Also, whoever is speaking in the background can maybe not.
It's an announcement over my whole apartment building. I can't stop it.
Oh, gotcha. I no, you
Sorry.
totally. I thought it was somebody with a video playing.
No, it's an
You're good.
announcement that plays literally every day, and I really want to punch this little box and make it shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
I would be disconnected there
Anyway,
for so fast.
continue.
But yeah, so you catch glimpses of
I'm not
this
allowed.
conversation, or small little fragments as you're focused on kind of getting your joints moving. But the thing that catches your interest the most is the amount of concern that Kysetria has. She's very used to dealing with just kind of the existential party bullshit. She's been kind of de facto team mom. But this is her with a level of uncomfortability that you have not seen in quite some time. However, you are equally observant of the fact that Amelia has had a shit-eating grin on her face for about the last 2 hours, and is in this almost state of euphoria. And so both dichotomies of human emotion at this current moment are
Confusing.
confusing. Yeah, that's a great word.
I just kind of like tilt my head when I do it, like I do when I'm curious. And just watch. Kind of trying to wrap my head around human emotions still.
So
My little LED eyes just kind of like squint somewhat. Anyway, yeah.
So are you gonna spill the tea on who you fucked or who you got fucked by, or
Hearing these words out of the cleric's mouth, Amelia, takes you back for just a brief moment, because she's always been fairly prim and proper and by the book, and the cleric turns to you and goes, "So who'd you fuck?"
spill the tea? Give us details.
Well, I don't normally kiss and tell. That's why I record everything.
Christ.
Yeah, we're gonna write a book and
I can just imagine Avala posted up in the corner with the directive, "I need you to videotape this."
What time it is?
I think Amelia can write a book about it, and then Layla can illustrate it.
Yeah, eat your heart out, 50 Shades of Grey.
But Amelia, you hear this question from the cleric, and you reach into your pocket, and you pull out a small... It's kind of like a ring. I mean, it is a ring, but it's got sort of an arcane essence to it.
I'm
And
proposing, am I?
no. But you remember that this was the gift that the brothel worker gave you for utilizing her service.
Damn, that quick, huh? Congratulations. Shall I prepare a ceremony?
Avala slowly moves forward, listening. Out of like pure curiosity.
Avala, go ahead
Well,
and make an Arcana check real fast for me.
Fuck. Where's my character?
Just go ahead and hit, I think it's C, opens up your
Yeah.
character sheet.
What kind of check?
Arcana. Yeah, that's enough. You recognize the magical signature that is coming off of the ring that Amelia is holding in her hands, and it is a ring made almost entirely of arcana of magical essence. It has a very, very, very small amount of like material that holds it together. But it is a blessing. It's like an artifact. Theodore would have used these very occasionally as small little gifts. But it's basically a temporary buff that wears off over time. And then the ring itself breaks and the buff is lost. But when Amelia holds out this ring, she gave me this as a thank you for services rendered. You recognize this as a buff that has about a 2-hour window.
But you said it's similar to something Theodore would have made.
Yeah, so Theodore would have made these as kind of like proof of concepts when he wanted to test out a spell or an effect, but didn't want it to be permanent. He would attach it to very fragile physical artifacts, so that way upon their destruction or upon the spell wearing off, it wouldn't be a permanent effect. So Theodore would basically use them as a test.
Yeah, does it look like something of Theodore's make, though?
No.
Because that's the only person that I'm familiar that made those.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Theodore's work. It very much looks like Theodore. In fact, looking at the ring, it looks like Theodore would have taken an already existing idea and then worked to perfect it under his implementation. Not that Theodore created something and people are borrowing from it. It's kind of the other way around. He took an already known theory and iterated upon that for his own use, whereas this is much more of a generic kind of common item. But it just reminds you of that same sort of process. A very temporary buff attached to a fragile physical object.
Okay.
Yeah, Amelia, the cleric wants to know the details.
Well, alright, fine.
It's like a mom on Christmas, you know, with her...
First of all, I'm surprised to hear you say that, young lady. Given how you're the cleric, you're the last person I expect you to...
Young lady?
She looks you dead ass in the eyes and goes, I got a tentacle for a dick, man. Like, I've moved past being prim and proper.
Anyway, fine. Want the details? Do you want the short version or the whole story?
Do we have time for the whole story?
We can make time if you like.
Oh.
Okay, well...
Short story. Write down the whole story so I can read it later.
Okay. Well, okay, short version. I got fucked.
Obviously.
Hard. But it wasn't what I was expecting, but my god, it was enjoyable. I thought I was the only one who was good with the middle finger. Apparently she was good with all 5.
All 10.
All 10.
Did you get falcon punched in the fucking vagina?
She didn't put her full fist in.
She
put the
fucking used you like a puppet.
Hey, she didn't put the whole fist in. She put the fingers in, then made the fist, which was in there.
Oi. As Amelia is describing this, Kaisechi, your brain immediately goes to, okay, different strokes for different folks, to how the fuck is that even possible? Because Amelia is not large by any stretch of the imagination. She's a rather tiny elf. And just...
Layla, you to make a diagram for me?
Avala's like sketching out like an anatomical like schematics and stuff, and like looking at it and then looking at her.
Well, and the thing is for Avala, Amelia is describing this, and of course, the kind of rest of the party knows that Amelia is like hamming it up a little bit. Avala does not. Avala is taking things at face fucking value, so she is drawing an Amelia with a fist up her vagina and her ass cheeks, being puppeted by this unknown entity, and she's trying to figure out how anatomically this works.
Oh, there was something up my ass, but but it was the fist.
So
Avala corrects the drawing. You mean like this?
She turns around and shows the entire bar. The entire patronage of this inn gets to see a fairly well-detailed sketch anatomically, so it's more scientific than it is artistic, but a fairly accurate representation of you getting absolutely bludgeoned to death by this faceless entity.
Did she get you pregnant?
Oh no, it was that's not how it works. But what she did use was long, hard, and black.
Avala sketches in a polearm. Here's a halberd.
Yeah.
What's that long? Seriously. That would cut me right down the middle if she put that up there.
I erased the blade.
I erased the blade. Christ. But yeah, about an hour or so passes throughout this conversation. The patrons of the inn are now very well aware that the ranger gets around. Also, they don't remember the absolute monstrosity that Avala has drawn frequenting the brothel, but maybe they got some new staff. Who he knows. But about this time, it's well on into the evening. You guys have sufficiently warmed up. You've gotten some food and some drink in you, and I am going to go ahead and have you guys all. Let me make sure I've got everybody that I need to. I don't need. There we go. I'm going to have everybody take a long rest. You have access to external food and water. Recover some of your hit points. I think the only one I'm waiting on is Satek.
I did the fucking long rest shit, but it didn't actually do anything.
Oh, no worries. Let me prompt
I
it
just
for you.
manually did it, and it didn't do anything either.
Hang on. I prompted it for you again. We'll see if it pops up this time.
Like, it lets me select the external food source, water source, and lets me hit finish, but it doesn't actually do anything.
Oh, interesting. Does it at least restore your health and shit?
I wasn't hurt.
Okay. Morning comes streaming through the windows. Amelia also comes streaming into the bed of a barbarian. Anyways, morning comes streaming through the windows of the Hearth and Home Inn and Tavern. And Satek, you're kind of the first up. And as the sunlight crests that window, it is overwhelmingly bright. Like really, really, really bright in your room. Almost to an uncomfortable level. It reminds you of snow blindness when that sun is glinting off of a snowbank and reflecting directly into your eyes. And it's making them hurt pretty bad. In that same sort of gnawing pain of the previous day, that innate hunger is starting to boil in your chest again. And as you slip out of bed and back into your clothes, it's almost like your vision starts to blur. But as this occurs, your hearing becomes more attuned. You hear the thump thump, thump thump of the resting heartbeat of various individuals kind of throughout this tavern. And it's almost like a bloodhound sniffing out its prey. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and move us to the actual inside of the inn.
Why is there blood? Oh,
That was from the sea hag. Let me go ahead and remove her. There we go. Also remove these two. The last time you guys were in here was when you fought the sea hag. That was Nora. There we go. Satek. You hear the thump thump of various heartbeats as your vision is more blurred, but your hearing has become kind of more attuned. And you crack open your door and you start slinking down the hallway. There are 6 doors, the one that you came out of, plus 2 more on the left side of the hallway, and then 3 doors on the right side of the hallway. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
What the fuck?
Okay, so you take the first door on the left. So on the left side of the hallway is doors 1, 2, and 3. You were in the 3rd door. I need everybody other than Satek to roll a d6.
D6. I want D6.
1.
Michael.
Yes.
On the left-hand side of Foundry is a little dice thing, and then just click 1d6. Okay. Layla. You are in the middle of your meditation because as an elf you don't actually sleep per se, but you still meditate. You still are in a restful state when the door cracks open. Within your meditations, what are you dreaming of? What are you focusing on?
After seeing the cathedral on our way to the tavern, that's what I'm thinking about, is getting theirs as soon as I'm up.
Okay. As you are contemplating the weight and wisdom of the cathedral and wanting to make a pilgrimage there, your door cracks open. Go ahead and Satek, make a stealth check for me, and then Layla, make a perception check.
It's a perception?
Yep. And Satek unfortunately rolled a no.
Yeah, I you also know. I looked into reliable talent, and it's any skill that you add your proficiency bonus to. Nat ones are ignored.
Okay. Well then, so Satek rolled technically a dirty 20 then, and you rolled a no. So, yeah. So you are hyper focused on your meditations of the cathedral and wanting to make your pilgrimage there. When Satek, you crack the door open and you slip inside. With your vision blurry, you're drawn to the heartbeat, almost like a moth to flame. But as you close in, the familiar scent of one of your comrades assails your nostrils. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw with a DC of 15 to prevent yourself from... As that smell assails your nostrils, you make the realization that in front of you is Layla, who is still currently in her meditation. And while the hunger is overwhelming, you do have the ability to steel your resolve and power through the affliction that ails you at the current moment in order to not subject one of your party members to breakfast.
And I think that what I'm going to do then is I am just going to go back to my room. I want to draw the curtains closed, and I just want to sit there and just think to myself, what the fuck was I about to do?
As you pull your curtains closed and you sit in contemplative silence, this sense of guilt kind of washes over you. Because it's not even so much that it was Leyland. You even think of the gnome. You think of Coral, you think of Kaisetri, you think of Azria, you think of all these people in the party. And the uncomfortability that you would have had realizing that you were about to subject them to basically the same levels of torture that you endured for the sake of your self-gratification makes you very uncomfortable. And as that feeling of almost despair starts to settle in, you remember something. When you were recovering your stuff from the cavern, you remember grabbing a potion. At least you thought it was a potion. It was an unmarked bottle. It didn't necessarily look like anything that you recognize. But you are able to dig it out of your pack should you wish to do so.
I think I'll do that.
Your hands fumble around inside of your pack until they finally reach that small little bottle. It's about the size of a use this as an example. I don't know if you're able to physically see it, but the little bird dog whiskeys, or like the little alcohol things that Hannah got for
like
Easter. Yeah. But you fumble open the cap, and the very strong smell of a sort of enriched blood assails your nostrils. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Another thing that I'm not good at.
You are unable to determine what kind of blood it is by the smell. You've killed a lot of things in your time in Arendar, and perhaps previously, if you could remember any bit of your life. But you're unable to place what the smell of this enriched blood is based off of that knowledge. However, desperate times do call for desperate measures, and there is blood free for the taking. I need you to make another wisdom saving throw. The temptation is simply too great, and you tip the bottle back into your open mouth and drink deep of its contents. As you do so, this rush of energy fills your body, and your vision comes back. Your strength is restored. You feel more powerful than you have felt in forever. But at the same time, there's this foreboding sense of dread that kind of fills you. What happens when this little bottle runs out? You've consumed about half of it. It's quite potent stuff. But what am I going to do when this bottle runs out? I don't even know what's in this bottle. What happens if I finish all of it and then something catastrophic happens to me? But I guess lesser of two evils. It's better than consuming the blood of one of your fellow party members. Perhaps you can keep your secret safe for a little longer. But you feel much stronger than you did previously.
Well, shit. Okay, so then I'll cap the bottle, and and I'll put it in back in my bag. And I think that I will mosey downstairs and attempt to like get breakfast or something to drink or something.
About this time, everybody starts waking up. Layla, you have this sort of uneasy feeling in the midst of your meditations. Elves very much enjoy the sanctity of their own thoughts when they meditate. Much like sleep is an escape for the rest of the mortal races. For elves, meditation is almost an indelible part of who they are. But you can't shake this feeling that there was some sort of impending threat in during your meditations that you didn't catch on to. And you remember Kaisetria's words from the previous night. Something is wrong with Satek. Can you potentially figure out what is going on with him? You get dressed and make your way downstairs. Kaisetria, you do the same. You make your way down the stairs. Amelia, you stumble down the stairs. You're feeling a little sore from the previous night. And Avala, you are posted up downstairs near the fireplace where you would have kept your general sentry watch. But you all make your way down the stairs, and you guys see Satek sitting by himself at the bar, kind of mindlessly chewing his bread. Satek, for you, if sawdust was a food, this would be it. The taste of food is no longer really that appealing. It's like gnawing on chalk, frankly. You're doing it to kind of put on the airs that you're eating, but you can't remember having something this bland, this dry. It makes your mouth feel like a desert. But yeah, you guys see Satek eating by himself. Looking much healthier. With the exception of his wrists, which still have gashes in them.
Cool. I'm gonna go sit next to him.
I still have the fucking gnome. She is a permanent accessory until something.
For those who have seen Overlord, the gnome was Gobta, hung upside down in the fucking jail cell in Dorgon. Like Gobta.
Fashioned like a baby
It was that slime.
out of like bedding.
Yeah, that was slime.
It was like Gopta. Yeah.
Oh, did I say Overlord? I meant slime. My apologies.
Yep, you said Gopta, and I was like, yep, that, yeah.
That tracks. But yeah. Layla, if you sit down next to Satek, who is mindlessly mauling his bread as if it's the worst thing in the world, and you get kind of a second, or you take a step back kind of mentally, and you're like, do I really want to eat that? But you order the exact same thing that Satek does, and it tastes fantastic. Like, it's standard tavern fare, but cheap but good. I mean, the bread is nice and crispy on the outside. The morning breakfast porridge is got wild berries in it, and it's simple but filling. But you look at the face that Satek is making, and it looks like he's chewing mud.
A lot last night made me his nauseous.
So, how did the last day for you go?
I don't even know where to begin. Other than the fact that you assholes left me behind.
I mean, you were sleeping.
You also know?
Yes,
Yes, he's an elf.
I'm a high elf.
He's technically a half elf.
Yeah, now.
we have all day, and I was planning to go to the cathedral. You can come with me. We can chat.
I don't think that would be wise.
Why not?
It's really bright.
Well, yeah, it's always bright. It's daytime.
It's best to be a 50 on. It'll be fine.
SPF 5000.
Let me see Star.
Just throw a cloak on. It'll be fine.
Would that actually? I don't think that would actually work.
No. No, it doesn't.
Does he know that he's allergic to sun?
So, well, there's things that David and I have talked about of how we were going to implement this, or how I was going to implement this, that him as a player knows, but him as a character does not. And so, as a character, Satek is being justifiably cautious.
These are just symptoms of a hangover. Some fresh air might do him good.
Kaisetria, as you say this, looking at Satek, it's almost like he's come down with a fever. Like, it's too bright, he's lethargic, he's mumbling through his food. It's almost like he's contracted some sort of sickness, some sort of venereal disease, and is just too stubborn to say it. And that's why, instead of burdening the cleric with his problems, he chose to lie to you last night.
Contracted STD already?
No, I don't think so. Something similar, but not sexual.
What the fuck does that mean?
I just,
Yeah, some would be good for you.
I think I just need to take it easy and relax.
Relax, go to the library, go to cathedral. Whose cathedral is that?
Citrus.
Yeah. You're gonna say hi to your bestie. Your divine bestie.
Maybe later, after I feel a little better.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna like stand up and just mosey back to my room. Just saying, if you need me, you know where to find me.
Kaisetria, as he stands up, make a... How do I want to do this? I'm going to have you do this as a religion check. Make a religion check.
16.
As Satek stands, it's not so much that it reminds you of the Lich, and it's not so much that it reminds you of, like, the mummies that you guys have fought. It's kind of a combination. There is an air of undead, but in addition, there's an air of unholy about Satek. Now, he's never seemed the most religious individual, just kind of in general, more like he was a follower of Sintress because Sintress's power and his personal goals kind of aligned. But as he walks by you don't feel that connection to the living world from Satek.
Oh, I'd hate to It has to detect evil and good. Do I even have it prepared?
You might not have it prepared, but isn't that an inherent ability that you have as a cleric? I know paladins can get it, but I don't remember if you do. Take a look.
What's the question?
She's wondering whether or not she's got
Detect evil or good.
yeah, detect good and evil.
It's in here.
You don't have it prepared.
Yeah, you would need the spell as a cleric. Otherwise, you would need like paladin divine sense.
Yeah, I'll keep that. Keep a note for that. To, the next time I sleep, I'll have to prepare that. Back of my head.
But yeah, Satek, you wander back upstairs, kind of making your way up the stairs back into your room. But yeah, Lilith, you look over at Kysetria, and Kysetria's face is white as a sheet.
I'm gonna follow Satek upstairs.
Okay. Satek, you have made it into your room. Lilith, make a stealth check for me.
14.
Satek, make a perception check.
Hey.
She cracks open the door, and Satek, you immediately just kind of heavy sigh and, what do you want, Leyland?
Alright, something's up with you, and we're talking now. The fact that you do not want to go to Our Lady's Cathedral right now, something is wrong. Spill.
I'm just gonna unstrap the hidden blades and I'm gonna show her my wrists.
You look at his wrists, and there are 2 gashes, horizontal, on both of his wrists, so 1 gash on each. But there's something else that's kind of disconcerting. You've seen a lot of physical wounds. You've caused wounds. Everybody has. You've watched people bleed out. There is no coagulation of blood whatsoever. There is no scabbing. There's no color. They look like gashes almost cut into clay.
I'm just gonna grab, like, both his hands. What happened to you in the last day?
Make a medicine check.
God. 18.
You do not
Sweet.
feel a pulse.
How are you alive right now?
It's a very good question that I would like to know the answer to myself. The full answer.
What happened to you after the boat?
Got off the boat. Somebody dropped a coin purse. And you know me. I grab it. I wake up after gods know how long. And I'm strapped to a table. And I just divulge the rest of the story.
Do you divulge the fact that Centris spoke through you?
Yes.
Layla, make a religion check at advantage.
2 nat ones.
15.
When Satek is describing the utter hopelessness of his situation, being strapped to a table, being forced to undergo some dark ritual, basically watching the light fade from his own eyes, and then Centris taking over his body and dispelling the influence of whoever it was that they were attempting to contact, and in addition breaking his bonds. You recall a very small bit of information that you read about in the Syrian library. It was a small fragment, and at the time it didn't make much sense. But you remember a fragmented piece of paper that spoke of the deities and those that they have chosen to become their avatars on the mortal plane. And it is a circumstance, or it requires a set of circumstances where there is no hope. The odds are kind of stacked to get against you, but those that the gods and goddesses deem worthy can very occasionally and quite rarely become the avatar of their goddess for their class. In fact, when you were reading that small fragment, there was only one confirmed avatar, and it was an avatar of Theron, who was a fighter. And this is in the eons past of Arendar. Basically somebody who could invoke Theron and become a literal one-man army. They were a member of one of the lost bands from a couple of thousand years ago, but when you tried to find more information, you were unable to find any specific reference. So that is the only small bit of information that you know. When Satek talks of Centris choosing to speak through him in that moment of great need, that is the first thing that pops into your mind. Also, he's a fucking vampire. That's the second thing that pops into your mind.
So, what are you going to do about this?
I don't know. I can see very, very clearly in the dark now. More so than normal.
Useful. You can probably see better than the gnome.
I could do that before yesterday.
The gnome is blinded by stupidity, which is unfortunately an affliction that apparently has no cure.
10 out of 10.
I can try to use remove curse on the gnome, and it won't fucking go.
I've also discovered that if I step into a shadow, I become invisible.
There's a couple of shadows in the room.
And I'm going to prove it.
I think
I'm
it'd
going
be
to step
brilliant.
into one of the shadows.
He
Really
takes
funny.
one step to the right, and if you didn't know he was in the room, you wouldn't know he was there. Like, you can very, very, very barely make out the faintest of outlines of Satek, only because you know that he is there. But if you did not know, you'd walk into that room and think it was empty.
So you can actually vanish now.
Yes. While I'm still in the shadow.
Anything else that we need to know about?
I can't taste food.
That was
I can't
very
get drunk.
obvious. watching you eat that bread. I almost didn't want to eat it, but
I'm just gonna step back out of the shadow.
so if you can't have real food, what are we going to do about that?
We just put a bunch of orphan children in a
Freaking buffet at the mansion.
Christ. Fucking hell.
Oh, a way to become chaotic evil in a flash.
You see Satek lighting up outside the brothel like 1 week every month. It's the most excited he's ever been.
The only thing that has any flavor is blood. And whatever this is, and I'll pull the potion out. Or the vial out.
Why is it half empty?
I couldn't help myself this morning. I found it in the cave. I tried it.
Make an insight check.
That one.
Yeah, he found it inside the cave, and you can understand, like, if you were in a desperate situation, you would do what you had to do. What is lost on Lilith is the connotation of what I was desperate actually entails.
And that's just something that I'm going to keep to myself.
Did you find more in the cave or just the one?
Just that one.
Well, just so you know, Kaisetri is on to you.
I figured as much.
I'll leave it up to you to tell her and the rest.
The only reason I'm telling you is because we have the same goddess.
And I was going to leave this alone. The fact that you would deny going to the cathedral. I knew something was wrong.
I'd like to wait to go.
You feel, Satek, a wave of displeasure. Not necessarily fury or anger at that decision, but almost disappointment. And then the feeling subsides, and with that subsiding feeling comes this wave of exhaustion, and your vision starts blurring very slightly, and your ears once again hear the thump thump of people kind of around. It lasts for about 5-ish seconds, and then you blink it away, and everything returns to normal.
All I know right now is that I need to find some source of sustenance.
I mean, we can't quite have you snacking on people.
I know.
I mean, maybe a shear. But
I
then
have
again,
thought about that. Might be a little sour.
Yeah. She might be a little dirty.
Or I'll just become stupid. Like her.
Stupid as completely.
Hey, I mean, this is Caleb speaking, not the DM. I fully believe that stupidity is contagious. If you hang out with idiot people, that shit rubs off on you and you make stupid fucking choices. I'll die on that fucking
10 out of
hill.
10.
I'll die
10
on
out
it.
of 10.
While this is going on, Kaisetria, Amelia, Avala, you guys are all downstairs. Two of you guys are consuming your morning nutrients. Avala, you've been in sentry mode most of the night. You were watching Satek kind of play around with his food, and then make his way upstairs, feeling rather uncomfortable. But the morning is kind of underway. The wind is starting to pick up outside, and it looks like another snowstorm is blowing in. But your circuits kind of kick back on. Sentry mode is over and done with. And you see a white as a ghost Kaisetria kind of sitting by herself, as well as Amelia. Amelia, what are you doing?
Just,
You going back to the brothel today?
no, I don't think I can afford it, or I would have the stamina for it. But well, I'm still feeling sore. But I managed to get downstairs, though I kind of stumbled a bit. And I'm just enjoying my breakfast. Though with every lift of the spoon, it's a little agony.
You feel like you got thrown in a blender. But yeah, Avala. Amelia is eating breakfast. Kaisetria looks like she saw a literal ghost. And your sentry mode is deactivated.
Curiosity gets me, and I just kind of like walk over and sit in front of her and stare.
Without saying a word, 7 foot tall, Dommy Mommy robot, like hydraulic presses her ass cheeks onto this tiny wooden stool, and you see the innkeeper behind go, but she daintily just blinks because most of the stopping force is in her hydraulic legs, and so she just kind of leans forward, and her face is about 2 inches from yours.
And I just kind of tip my head to the side. Would you like to talk about it?
Satek's sick, but it's like an evil kind of sick. I don't know what it is.
Then we should kill him. I do not see your conundrum.
Oh. Well, no, I want to know what it is.
Oh.
So I had Layla probe.
Amelia, you hear the words probe and get Vietnam War flashbacks of the previous day.
Oh God, no more! Can't take it. My little asshole can't take it.
Christ. Anyways, yeah, Avala, you hear this. You hear this from Kaiset. Because your mentality is very straightforward. Oh, there's a problem. This is how we fix the problem. But to hear the cleric go, no, this is something worth finding the root cause and maybe helping with, is confusing to you. Because it's not the most straightforward path to the solution. But because of your personal growth, the second thought that occurs is, this must be one of those human things satisfying their curiosity, even if it's inefficient.
If I knew what it was, I could go to the library and figure out how to help.
If you would like my assistance, I would be happy to lend it.
We'll see if Layla comes back with something.
She has been there for quite some time now. I am growing concerned, especially if you say what it is within him is evil.
It's something that irks me. That's definitely something that would be hurt very easily by would my fucking bury the damn get rid of him.
Undetermined.
Okay.
I mean, you're
Have to
always
fuck around and find out, kind
You're
of.
always welcome to try. One of the things I need to do real fast is I need to remove the date cards from here. About this time though, as that level of uncomfortability is growing and manifesting within all of you, Layla, you just make it down the stairs when a growing sense of unease sweeps through the room. And it's like all the life has been sucked out of it. And Satek, you feel it before you hear anything. But from within a small portal, you see this warping and shifting of space. And as... One second. Let's get a couple things fixed. And as that manifests, it dissipates. And then with a crack of thunder, Cutilos shows up.
Oh, this motherfucker.
I gave you guys 3 weeks. I was going to put him on the boat. The boat was going to sink. Like, you guys are going to have to fight him on a fucking boat. Can you imagine he shows
Do
up
we
in
have
the...
all the pieces that we need now for him?
No, you guys only have one. You guys have one piece.
I thought we had 2.
No, only one so far.
God damn it.
Yeah, the one that we got was the Kraken. That's the only one I remember.
Yeah, that's the one that you guys got from the octopus in the oasis. One of them is in Cave and Josk. Finding it is going to be fun. But with this crack, Cutilos appears and slowly looks around.
Each day, you bring me closer to my true resurrection.
I do need to make sure that there's not a Satek down here. There's not yet. I need everybody. Let me get rid of the guards. Un momento, por favor. I'm going to have everybody, if you will, roll your initiative on Foundry. Hang on. I got to move this up.
Well,
Ma'am,
since
can you not?
You're right. I would probably want to be running the fuck downstairs.
Yes, but it's going to take you a turn to get down there.
That's fine.
Cutilos, Amelia. Umi's not here right now, so I will be removing
She's
her.
not going to be playing at all.
Okay. Amelia, Cassetria, Kassir, Lalith, Avala. And then Satek will be making his way downtown. Moving fast, touching ass. Okay, let me... Oop! Definitely did not want that. I wanted just you to go away. There we go. Okay, if I could have everybody roll initiative. Except for Satek.
Again?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
deleted it.
I accidentally deleted everybody. Go me.
Oops.
Yeah, I had everybody still selected.
Close out your character
Feeling
sheet.
cute. Might delete you later.
That's a short.
Time for this.
Mother. That's lower.
No, that's higher.
Oh, wait, what?
You rolled a 15. The last one.
And then I will
Oh,
roll
okay.
+2. Perfect.
I confused you for me. What?
Begin combat. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I roll, I will roll a d6. Kassir will be both 1 and 6. 5.
So that is Lilith.
That is Lilith. He looks at Lilith and goes,
Ah, join me in death.
and he is going to cast Stone and Cold in your direction. However, because you are behind the table, count your blessings. Avala does have a reaction for counterspell.
What did he roll for it?
Cone
Or
of Cold.
Dex-
It's a DC saving throw. Or con save.
I was.
Yes, Sarah's gonna cut in words. Kassir passed, Avala passed, Amelia, you failed. So we only take half. So Avala, you are hit for 18. And then Amelia, you are hit for full 37. And Cutalos just chuckles. Layla, you ducked behind the table just in time as this wave of ice just goes pouring out from Cutalos' hands. And then he is going to... where are you? Where? There it is. And then he is going to advance towards Kaisetria, and he is going to attack his crystal greatsword. And he hits you for 15. And that is the end of his turn. That brings us to Kassir, and Kassir is going to slap down a inspiring fireside battle. He's gonna try and get as many people in it as he can. And that'll be his turn. Avala, that brings us to you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, where is this motherfucker?
He is right here.
I am going to come. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Darling, dearest, or love of my life, would you be willing to get me another cup of coffee?
Sorry, I can't. I'm in Korea.
I was actually hoping David would volunteer for just a brief second. I thought he was going to be like, yeah, sure, I got you, boo.
I mean, one of the other women, you would think.
Phil.
Me and
Phil's
Phil.
not here.
Yeah, Phil's not here.
Phil would have stood up without a word and voluntold himself to do it.
You wouldn't even have to.
Why not? Let's go Twin Spell.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Twin spell max level magic missile.
I can't magic missile Twin Spell.
If you could, it'd be busted.
Yeah.
It would be
but I
fucking busted.
can Twin Spell Chromatic Orb. Oh, Helps if I target the motherfucker first. All of like the targeting things are like not here. Oh, there it goes. Close this motherfucker. Open my character sheet again. Romantic orb. And why not? 5th level, motherfucker.
Hell yeah, let's fucking go.
Pachown. Everybody going down. I don't have enough sorcery points. Damn it. Oh, because it's a 5th level spell. Oops. Okay. Try one more time. Let me see if it'll let me do it at 4th level. Why can't I? What the fuck? Where's my sorcery points counter?
Give me a second. They should have been restored. Oh, for whatever reason, you did not get a long... Oh, because they took a long rest when you were not here. Give me 1 second.
I was gonna say, I should have enough to do it at 4th level.
You did get it. So you were at 53. 53
Yes, I'm at 53.
And then, give me 1 second. While I go to your sorcery points. Picture.
Oh, I started blasting him.
Sorcery points. 8. There we go.
Yeah, I should have had enough
Yeah,
sorcery
you
points
were
to
at
do it at
3.
5th level. What the fuck?
Okay, just making sure that I have everything else fixed. Give me 1 second. Yeah, okay, all of your automations are good to go. Okay, yeah, you should be good now.
Now, where was I? Oh yeah, I was blasting him. 5th level, please and thank you. A boom boom.
The first one does miss. The second one...
Is it gonna go?
Is it gonna go? Is it gonna go? I'm sure as hell thinking about it.
It really is.
If it doesn't go, go ahead and just target him. Or go ahead and just do another one and don't use the spell slot.
Okay.
Because it'll be basically the same thing. I remember we've always had, for whatever reason, Chromatic Orb never wants to play nice with
It
with
really
Twin
doesn't,
Spell.
and
I've
it's
never
kind of
understood why.
annoying.
Yeah, I've never understood why with Twin Spell, Chromatic Orb never wants to play nice.
Okay, I'll just manual roll it.
Dope.
I didn't. Standard roll. No spell slot. 5th level. Casting.
It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. There it goes. And that one hits for 27 points of damage. Amelia, that brings us to you. You see this lich pop up right in the middle of you eating your morning oatmeal. And right as your eyes lift above the table, they get blasted with this icy northern wind and icicles. And you take a couple of stray hailstones to the face, and it knocks your bowl of oatmeal into your lap. And you look down, and in one fluid motion, stand up, yank out your bow, and pull back an arrow.
No one interrupts my morning oatmeal, especially after a rough night I had last night. Oh, you better get ready to get some icy shards up your ass, motherfucker.
She misses.
Yeah.
Cutilas is a bit of a tank. He's not awful. He's got a 20 AC. Yeah, you hit him.
Done.
Nice shot. Yeah, you pull out your first ethereal arrow, knock back, and with the vengeance of 1,000 spilt bowls of oatmeal, you snipe him right in his decayed flesh shoulder, and then it ruptures and icicles sprout out.
All right, this one's going up your ass. You'll know my pain in more ways than one.
This one's not lubed, motherfucker.
That one also hits.
All right, hit them both times. Both good hits.
Yeah, both solid.
All right, my turn there.
Guys, Adria. Are you using the gnome as your replacement shield?
Improvised weapon.
I mean, there is an achievement in Baldur's Gate 3. Beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
I like unsheath her like through a sword. You know?
She uses 4 chaos, it goes off.
Oh, please. Goodness.
She just uses her core strength to like stiffen her body straight and just
Sick the gnome on him. I'm sick of your child. You need to pay better child support.
Yeah, honestly. Goodness. What is it, beacon of hope? Yes. Yes. Oh. And then y'all can't fucking hear that. Who's looking entirely too frosty?
The lowest is Avala, comparatively speaking, but she also has like the lowest max health. So
yeah. I'm kind of at a disadvantage in that aspect.
You poor thing.
A glass cannon. Quite literally.
You're just a girl. You're just a not girl.
you're just a not girl.
I'm only 5. Like
That's the description of Tinder in California. You're just a not girl.
That's a surprise.
Oh, you're a surprise penis.
You're a Bangkok special.
Alright.
Layla, that brings us to you.
Let's do.
Nice, Hex. The first of your Eldritch Blasts does manage to connect. Your second one does not. Just pinging kind of harmlessly into the chair, sending wood fragments splintering up. But your third one also slams into the chest of Cutilas. Before you finish your turn, give me 1 second while I bring in a Satek. And Satek, I am going to put you here. And then I need you
And
to
combat.
roll initiative. Perfect. That way, at the next round, it will...
Wow, that was a low roll for me.
You're full of fucking humans, you know that.
Normally, I'm top of the initiative order. Doesn't fucking matter what we're doing. So it's a low roll for me.
You rolled a 8.
Layla, anything else you want to do?
Plus 11.
Perfect. And that does bring us to Qdolos, and he sees you run down the stairs, Satek, and kind of vault over and land. And he looks at you, and a spark of recognition for the form that you have taken lights up his eyes, and he looks directly at you and says,
That option was also for me on the table. But clearly I chose otherwise.
and now he will roll a d6. So Satek, you are 1, Kasir's 2, Avala 3, Amelia 4, Kaisetrius 5, Lalith is now 6. So 4. That is Amelia. And he is going to look at Amelia. And he is going to...
Hey, Nosferatu, my eyes are up here.
Nosferatu. That's funny.
Technically speaking, this is the one that's closer to Nosferatu.
So,
I am warning those with counterspell. I am casting a spell that could be counterspelled. So, because there is a 10-second timer on reactions, I'm letting you know now.
Oh, fuck.
oops.
I'm letting everyone know now.
Oh, God, who let it rip?
No counterspell from the Jenny?
There it goes. And I'm not going to be an asshole and counterspell her counterspell. I'm not going to do that. If you guys, for the most part, get it off against Qdolos, I'm fairly willing to let that ride. Unless it's like extreme circumstances. He saves his counterspells for other things. But yeah, he slams down a circle of death, and this wave after wave of necrotic energy starts filling the room, and Avala's eyes light up in like orange, like panic mode, and she waves her metal thingies in the air, and it dissipates. And Amelia, you are saved from something in the realm of like 8d12 of necrotic damage or some shit. However, he is going to flip a coin. Give me 1 second. Kaisetria, you are 1. Avala, you are 2 because you are the 2 closest individuals.
Roll a D2.
He rolls a 2. He is going to move down. This should give Kaisetria an attack of opportunity.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I will let you take your attack of opportunity first. That misses.
Shit.
And he is going to attack with his Crystal Greatsword.
Description. This weapon is safe to rename.
Yeah. I am going to... Yes, I'm going to try and cutting words. I don't know if
Not
it's
his
going to...
fucking sword.
Yeah, he's not affected by cutting words. And that will be the end of Qdolos' turn. Satek, that brings us to you. You see the bane of the party's existence destroying everything in the tavern, because of course Qdolos has to show up. Now granted, you guys have had a rather lucky spell of time where he's been oddly quiet, but when he looks at you and says, I could have chosen that path, it was available to me, but instead I chose another. That those words kind of eat directly into your soul. Have you become nothing more than the same kind of abomination that Qdolos has become? Does the price you pay outweigh the power you have gained, or vice versa?
Well, that remains to be seen. But what I would like to do is I would like to run right to there that I'm pinging.
Okay.
And while I'm running there, once I get there, I'd like to summon my shadow ally.
Gotcha. Okay. go ahead and you should be able to do that from your character sheet, and then place your shadow, because your shadow ally I think is going to be like to the right and down one or some shit, but
I just have to find it in my character sheet.
it should be under features, I believe. If it's not under features, first memory, adventurers guild badge, invoke
That's my
centrist
invoke.
rogue.
Yeah.
It's under other features. There we go.
And apparently the Shadow Ally has decided that it wanted to land on top of Kaisekria.
Yep. Give me just 1 second while I
No,
fix
get
your.
out of the way.
Well, it's because your shadow ally just kind of summons to a set location based off of where you are. But yeah, you can technically move him within 30 feet wherever you want.
So right there is just fine.
Okay.
And he's, Cudalos is going to get a stabby stab
Yep.
from both of them. There's action.
Madam
and
one will
sneak
hit.
attack, flanking.
And yeah, and then give me 1 second while I double that damage. So he's got to lose another 17 because he does have resistance. So minus 17.
Isn't the Bloodlust considered a magical weapon?
Yes, but he has resistance for other reasons.
So he still takes 35. That's
Yeah.
a pretty fucking solid hit.
That's a pretty. That's pretty. And now you have your shadow ally for another entire turn. So now you can fully go ham. But yeah, you guys see Satek summon in a copy of himself, a ghostly copy, and then both at the same time start plunging their dagger into the chest of Cudalos. But yeah, anything else you want to do on your turn?
No, I'm just going to keep quiet and proceed.
Sounds good. That brings us to Kassir, and Kassir is going to target Cudalos. Actually, no, he's going to target Avala. Kassir support this round. And he is going to bonus action, 4th level, healing words, and heal Avala for a bit, and then he is going to target Cudalos.
Do-do-do-do.
Let's see. He's going to use his focus. Which should impose disadvantage. It does. Avala, that brings us to you.
I'm way too far up in the pecking order.
Yeah, normally you like to be farther down because then it gives you an opportunity to like manipulate and snipe shit.
I really don't like how close he is to me.
Yeah, Misty Step or some shit.
I mean, I have my dimension door, but
Oh yeah, no one wants to burn a 3rd or 4th level simply to
it's
get away.
4th level spell.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's do. Hang on, can we pause the time? I need to read this really quick because I forget what it does.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for asking. I've been trying, like in your last one when we couldn't get the orb to work, I was like, pause. Fucking pause. I try to be pretty good about it. But yeah, you're always welcome to ask for a pause, and I will always do my damnedest. However, I am pretty pleased with the effect that is going off on Cutilos right now, the disadvantage one, that pulse, is, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fucking nice.
Okay, you can play it.
Dope.
I want to try this new cantrip. It's a new cantrip from the 2014 or 2024 release, Sorcerer's Burst.
I don't know if that's gonna have anything on my side that I can
Whoa.
do.
The fuck?
Damn.
Anytime I roll an 8 on a D8, it rolls an additional D8.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it's set up the same way that fucking your magic missile was. So it rolled a D8 on the initial one, so you got lucky there, and then it copied it because it rolled the same. So I'll allow it because I think that's fun. He does end up only taking 12 because he is immune to one of the damage types. And he's resistant to all the others. There is, by the way, a damage type that he is not resistant to, that in all your guys' fights, you have not managed to find yet. Dun dun dun. But that's actually really cool, Sorcerer's Burst. Yeah, I've never seen that. I think that's awesome.
And it's a cantrip.
Yeah.
And then for my bonus action, I'm gonna cast Dragon's Breath.
Nice. Let's fucking go.
And I'm gonna upcast it to 3rd level. Well, not 4th level. What are you doing?
What are you
I only have
doing?
so many of those. Da-da-da-dun. Man, I need to remake my robot.
You do need to remake your robot.
Oh, I accidentally cast it on fucking Cutilos.
I was wondering. Give me un
God
momento,
damn it.
por
I
favor.
forgot to change the
Yeah.
target.
Target yourself and then go ahead and just recast it without using any of the assumption.
My bad.
No, you're totally good. It happens. I totally understand why they have to have you target yourself to get it to work within like the engine. I wish that you didn't have to do that. I wish it, like, if it was an innate, there's really only
If it
one
says
option.
self, it should automatically do self.
Well, the thing is, you touch one willing creature, so technically you could give Satec.
I touch myself.
But yeah, there we go.
I am the willingest of creatures because I'm the one casting the goddamn thing.
True.
Okay,
Amelia.
it's real done this time.
That brings us to you.
Okay.
Nice hit.
Woohoo!
That's a fucking natural 20.
Yeah, that was a nat 20.
Yeah. Alright, and one more should do it.
And this one is gonna miss. I mean, so you averaged out. You got the average, which is pretty good. Anything else you want to do?
Well, now I'm barely out of range of the music blast radius, so I'm just gonna end it there.
The music blast radius is disadvantage on Cutilos.
Okay.
Gaisadria.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, it's fair.
Nice. Healed yourself and Avala. Avala, you're at max.
Yay!
Wait. And I think Amelia got it. Use you. Yeah. Yeah. Have a little bit over there. That's sweet little sweet.
Nice. And she heals Amelia for 16. Layla.
Rinse and repeat.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hey, look, you literally exactly rinsed and repeated. You hit him for a total of, let's see. Yep, okay.
I'm going to stay very comfy behind the table.
I mean, as long as Kutalos doesn't roll. You are now 6, by the way. The Satek took 1. 5. Oh, look, Kaisatria.
Sweet. Whatever.
I mean, to be fair, if I was a not generous DM, the very first thing I would be doing is wiping out the fucking healer. Like, objectively. Let's see.
Kutalos has dealt with us enough. This is like sparring for him.
Okay, let's see.
Just a warm up.
Yeah. Where's Mr. Jim? They're keeping his bones young.
Avala has a reaction for counterspell.
Why not?
That'd be a good idea.
Oh, yes. Nice. Right on the nose. Oh my god.
You see a beam of green energy raise from Kutalos' finger, and you just hear him say, "Turn to ash." And right as it reaches you, Kaisetria, it dissipates into these like floating ethereal green butterflies. And you see, if robots could be panicking and sweating, Avala would be it. And she's like, gives
Avala
you.
just looks at him and says, "Access denied."
You get a point of inspiration for that. That's fucking funny. That's fucking funny as shit.
Yes, please.
And then, okay, so as it stands now, because there is more bodies around Kutalos, Kaisetria, you are 1, Satek, you are 2, your shadow ally is 3, Avala, you are 4. So roll a d4.
No, I'm
4.
5.
I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Well, because he's about to smack you again.
I'm a full health.
Yeah, you should be fine.
And he just used his action, so.
Critical miss. Fuck yeah.
Nah. And I just reiterate, as I said, access denied.
And that is going to end his turn. Satek, that brings us to you.
Please, go fuck.
The double stabby stab.
Yeah.
Go.
Your first one misses, and your second one also misses.
God damn, those are low rolls. What the
Hey,
hell?
when I hit the
You go to stab both you and your shadow ally at the same time, and it's right as your blades go to connect. It's like Kutalos' physical form shifts in front of you, and your blades strike nothing but air. So you quickly stab forward with your offhand as your shadow ally mimics your movements, and once again they don't manage to connect. And with an ethereal groan, your shadow ally disappears. Which brings us to Kassir, who is going to target Kutalos, and he is going to. Where are you? He's gonna look at him and go,
I can do that too, bitch.
and he just
I don't have a reaction.
small little green line. Ah, apparently you can teach an old dog new tricks. I like this one.
Can you make him bark?
Are you asking me to? I mean, sure, why not? Avala, that brings us to you.
Avala looks at Kassir and says, I may not be able to do that exact thing, but something similar. And I turn around 5th level lightning bolt.
By the way, bartender Chop Chop is watching his tavern get destroyed. Splinters of wood everywhere. Like there's a lich. And he just kind of rolls his eyes and reaches over and pulls the largest mug of ale that he can.
I already made sure there was no one standing behind him. Kerblau.
Nice.
Thunder.
Shit, cute loss. Full beans.
And then Dragon Breath. Used. Like, I open my faceplate and, like, Iron Man hands at the same time.
Just start. Whoosh.
Like, a literal Kamehameha.
Yeah. And he fails his deck save. He gets zapped.
Yes.
He gets fucking zapped. You guys are doing
Zap.
really good, by the way.
That damage on the lightning bolt could have been better, but okay. I need to rebuild my robot.
You do need to rebuild your robot, yes.
Where's
Amelia,
01?
that brings us back to you. At half health, just as fair warning, Cutelos will start using counterspells and reactions. Right now he's playing with his food.
Sure.
Right. Bullseye.
Amelia's like nailing her attacks.
Well, yeah, I may be sore all over, especially my butt, but I'm still hitting my mark. Just like she did with me.
Pucker up and draw. Nice. Natural 20. That's 2 natural 20s for you.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Very
call
well
for me.
His hurt.
The low. I think for the most part, everybody's fairly fine.
So I hate it. Barely fine. It's kind of nice. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like that. Get out the fucking way. If that works. Just a little bit. Nope. That's. I'm going to go and put myself. Not there. Closer to it.
Welcome, Besties. Your fucking Chop Chop's keeping up the bit.
There's good.
Laylick.
Boop. Oh shit. Okay.
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat.
I mean, if it fucking works. I mean, this time it was kind of the opposite, though.
Yeah. safety of the table.
The safety of the table, huh? Lalith is
Anyways.
Lalith is over there going, as long as I stay out of range of his direct confrontation, I should be fine. Surely I will be fine. There's absolutely no way that I will not be fine. And in front of, where is it? Where are you? In front of Avala, he just up and vanishes, and then walks over. Thank you. And casts Feeble Mind.
Oh.
Hang on, what's his health? I need to know if he can counterspell this. Based off of my predisposed 5 hit points. You are so lucky. He reaches out a hand and utters this foul arcane language, and you throw up a thought shield and just concentrate on keeping your ego intact, and the spell fails. And he looks extraordinarily annoyed, and then pulls his greatsword out and cracks you over the head with it.
You will listen when I command.
That is the end of his turn. 5 hit points. 5 hit points from him being able to counterspell shit.
Perfect. So I've got it figured out for my movement. There's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
You see Satek sprinting over the tops of chairs and tables and shit. Nice. Fucking natural 20.
I'll take it. And a natural 19. I'll fucking take it. Fucking shit. He took 46, almost 50 damage from that.
Not accounting for his resistances, which you guys can't see, but I will still say, you hit him for a grip. You smacked him pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
However, he is now, ignore the, text details of this. Give me 1 second while the text details of this do not matter, but the raging is, he has this red aura around him now. That is to just signify that he now has access to more of his abilities, such as counterspell and other things. That brings us to Kassir, who is going to turn towards Kudalos. And he's going to use Mordenkainen's sword. Did it make the attack? It did not. moment. Features. I always forget where it puts. Maybe it's under effects. No. Where are you, Morning Kind of Sword? Ah, there it is. And then is dead and incapacitated? No, it's not. It's ethereal.
Mhm.
There we go. And that will be the end of this year's turn. Avala!
I mean, he went away from me, so yay! But at the same time,
Also, I'm gonna move
let's
this.
go. Magic missile, 4th level.
So anyways, I started blasting.
Pachow, pachow. Everybody go window. Oh. Okay. Blow, 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 blow. Blow.
Nice.
And he's not close enough for me to do my dragon breath comfortably. So, I have another bonus action? I don't have my Eldritch Cannon.
Yep, I think
How many
Kachow is
sorcery points
broken.
do I have left?
Kachow's busted and 0-1's busted.
How many sorcery points do I have left? Can you
3 maybe?
see? 3? Let's go!
Let me see. Sorcery points. Yeah, you have 3.
Pigeon! Quicken spell! Four. You guessed it. Magic missile! And we're gonna do another 4th level. Cause I can.
God, I love Magic Missile.
Oh shit. I forgot to assign the the darts.
You just exit it out.
Yeah.
No worries, just cast Magic Missile.
But it
for
used
4th
my
level.
sorcerer points.
Oh, go ahead and just cast Magic Missile without using the spell slot at 4th level. Because it'll be basically the same effect.
Where'd you go?
I miss you so. It's like it's been forever since you've been gone.
Ciao. Ciao. I just like making blasting noises.
You rolled a couple of 5s in there.
Hmm?
You rolled like 4 5s, which is pretty fucking
Yeah.
solid. Nice.
Avala just unload the salvo. Where are you going, motherfucker? Blah 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 blah. There.
Amelia.
Oh boy. Right. Well, I'm on a roll so far. Let's see if my luck can hold out and I don't hurt anyone in the process.
Critical miss.
Oh, motherfucker.
Hey, at least it wasn't a note.
Yeah.
It was a
No,
note.
that was a note.
That was no.
It was a note.
That was also a note.
Oh, god damn it.
It was quite a
I'm
no.
locked on. I don't see. Damn you, dice!
Saytek, roll a d20 for me. Layla, roll a d20 for me.
Roll a d20.
Uh-oh.
17.
Yeah. Saytek, unfortunately, with two nopes from a ranger, and you rolling a nope yourself, out of nowhere, these two ethereal arrows of ice blast you in the face for 32 points of damage.
Can I uncanny dodge that?
No, you rolled a nope. And out of nowhere, like you've been watching Amelia like snipe this motherfucker as he's been popping around the room, and then Amelia is later gonna blame it on the uncomfy feeling of oatmeal in her panties, but something goes haywire and you find two arrows exploding in your face, much like things exploded in Amelia's face yesterday. Anyways, Amelia, is there anything else you wanted to do on your turn?
Can I use Misty Step, put some distance between me and this?
Absolutely.
This
So go ahead and
sorry.
target yourself.
Motherfucker.
Target yourself first, and then use Misty Step, because otherwise you're going to Misty Step Cutilos, which he will happily take the free movement. And then you can, yep, perfect. You can click anywhere in that little blue.
And I'm gonna. Okay. And turn. This Nosferatu looking mofo.
Satria.
Can't shove past all these fucking people. Hey, can you fucking not hit our friends? That'd be nice. Thank you. I can see it. Alright, you spooky bitch. Nope. Yep. There.
Wow, Saytek, you basically heal for the entirety of the damage that you just fucking took. Except, Kysatria,
Yeah.
you cast healing on Saytek, and you watch as he erupts in radiant fire. Saytek, you take 26 points of radiant damage as you erupt.
Hey, that's not supposed to happen.
Kysatria, you don't know in this moment whether your god has abandoned you, but clearly something is very wrong if Saytek is burning like holy white flames from his eye sockets when you try and save his life.
Oops. Cool. So she's gonna sit on that.
She's gonna contemplate on that knowledge.
So, I am going to do.
Does that mean necrotic damage was local?
Okay, good. I'm going to far step.
I thought you said fart step, and I was like, what the fuck spell is that?
Hey, Bill.
Drop.
Hang on, I need to unpause. There we go.
Nice.
No, okay. I will drop Hex. Symbol. Oh, it's just juice. It's just soup. Hold on, I didn't target myself.
I see that. Go ahead and target yourself and then cast the spell. Without using the spell slot. Also, I just want to say that the physical dice for like the majority of gameplay, but using Foundry for like attacks and stuff, has worked out, I would say, surprisingly well.
And then before I teleport away, I'm just gonna quickly say to Satek, take it. And then I teleport away.
What am I taking?
That little
Make
The
a
vial?
make a
vial.
performance check, Lilith, at disadvantage. You can roll your physical dice if you want.
I know, I gotta see what my performance is. Disadvantage?
Yep, because you're in the middle of combat. You're given an order.
+13 +5, 18.
Okay, Satek, I need you to make a insight check, also at disadvantage, because you're in the middle of combat. Yeah, no, Satek doesn't understand shit.
Okay.
Satek hears you say, take, and then you're gone. You're 60 feet across the way, and he can't see if you're gesturing to something because he has radiant flame coming out of his fucking eyeballs. As Kaisetri is, oh god, oh no, oh fuck, oh Jesus, oh shit. Oh, what is going? His goes, I leave for one afternoon. What the fuck?
Okay, and then because Parsip is a bonus action, bless. Bless.
Hey, you're back to your usual. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
Okay. That does bring us to Cutiloss. And he is going to roll his d6. He rolls a 6.
Hey. You and I are
Satek
best
is thanking the gods right now because he always attacks with a spell and his sword. And Satek was the only target for the sword, but he does his spell attack first. So Satek is thanking the divines at the current moment. And Cutiloss is going to target himself. He is going to... He's like a fucking banshee at the current moment.
Yeah.
Hi. And he is going to... Let's see... Vampiric Dodge.
Oh, motherfucker. That's on fire.
You
Yeah, I
do
think it hit.
you do save your con save. Cutiloss does manage to heal himself. Then between the two, so Lilith, or Kaisetria, you will be 1, Lilith will be 2, based off of initiative order. 1. And he's gonna turn around and he's going to smack at Kaisetria with his Crystal Greatsword. And you just barely pass your concentration check.
We're good. We're okay. This is fine.
Satek, that
That's
brings
fine.
us to you. You watched your favorite and only cleric speak words of healing and devotion and saving of lives, and watched your eyeballs erupt in radiant fire out of your face. You are very singed, very burned, and in quite a bit of pain.
I think healing potions are soup.
That does raise a valid question as to whether or not a healing potion would actually work.
Are you willing to try and find out?
Not right at the moment, but it is something to think about. Something that I'll worry about another time. For the meantime, I am just going to utilize my movement here. Mapped it out, and right there is going to put me at 30 feet of movement.
Nope.
There's 5, 10, 15, 20. There's 30. And he's gonna get the stabby stabs. I don't have flanking at the moment, but that's fine.
You missed with your first, but you do hit with your second.
What?
I said you missed with your first, but you do hit with your second.
Yeah, it's gonna let me use sneak.
I'll allow it then, if it's going to allow you to do it.
It prompted for it.
Satek, as you plunge your dagger in, Cutilos sparks forth words of infernal intent. And maybe.
Boo, motherfucker.
Maybe. 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 There's maybe. Brother.
So he doesn't, right? That means he doesn't do.
No, I'll
he-
manually roll it if I have to. Or actually, how I'll end up doing this is like this. I'll just manually do the target.
Unrelated, I have a sleeping lily.
She
in my
is.
way.
Maybe.
She is conked out.
Ugh, stretch.
And luckily for you, uncanny dodge exists. And right where you're standing, you manage to get just a little bit out of the way so you don't take the brunt of it. But a pillar of fire erupts from the ground underneath you and sears you quite badly. Satek, in fact, that brings us. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
No, that is gonna do it.
Yeah. That brings us to Kassir. And Kassir sees what is going on. And first off, I am going to do a insight check.
God, what's the DC on that?
Your mom.
Not a 21.
Apparently.
And he is going to look at Satek. And where are you? I am going to not target Satek with this because I don't have this coded to work that way yet. But he's going to cast. Well, I might have to do it on Satek. Satek, you will. No, I'm going to use Bartender Chop Chop as a test subject because I have to have it targeted on somebody. And Kassir looks right at you, Satek, and goes, I guess it's time for you to die. And hits you with harm. And you heal for 51.
Just like, the fuck?
Oh, I'm kind of glad that worked. I was frankly unsure. But maybe don't heal Satek for a while, please. I don't exactly have a lot of these to throw around. In fact, that was his last one. Aval, that brings us to you.
I didn't realize I was muted and I've been talking this whole time.
Oh no. Oh no, oh
I
no.
remember my first day.
You're so pretty.
That's what I'm built for. Just the face. That's all. Let's see. I have a 4th level slot, a few 2nd level slots, and all my 1st level slots. Again, he's very uncomfortably positioned between my friends.
Yeah.
What? Twin spell. And I mean, it worked so well last time, Sorcerer's Burst. Did it do the do?
It did the do, yes.
Yay.
He did pass his concentration check as
And then my last Sorcerer's Point. Quicken spell.
Kaboom.
Sorcerer's Burst. Because why not?
well. I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And
Though
it's
it-
a cantrip, so
Though
boom.
technically it is slightly broke, and so later I will have to fix it because it keeps just permanently rolling d8s.
I'm like utilizing it.
Yeah, hey, might as fucking well.
If
And-
the system's broken, that means it's working right. So let's go.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Okay. No, that's all I can do.
Amelia.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put some distance between me and Quasimodo.
With all these fucking... Never mind.
Once again, never mind. You did it correctly. No, you're good. I thought you were targeted on him for a second. I was like, that's not gonna work.
It was, actually.
Hey, I mean, it worked.
It worked. You'll have to target.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, you were targeted on him, but Misty Step just worked for you. That was a natural 19.
And
Nice. Both hit.
got some blood going there.
Yep, he is hurt.
All right, and I'm gonna end my turn.
Gaisetria.
Okay, who's hurt?
The rogue.
No, I'm not. Not really.
The rogue is in mortal peril. Do lay on hands or do heal for 70 points of damage. It'll be fine.
Do like a mass healing.
Mass cure wounds, everybody heals, and Satek just gets fucking obliterated.
Cool. So like everyone's cool. Everyone's good. I swear Layla is still hurting.
Lilith, I mean, she's about half.
I need to remember to prepare for goddamn spells. I've got 6 level spells, and none of it's prepared. Anyway. Okay, well. Have like, that's much. Touch and help. Just a little bit. Okay.
Layla.
Oh, good God. Alright. Well, I am going to move again. Because I'm concentrating on Far Step, I get to keep using it.
Yep.
As
You managed to maintain your concentration.
As a bonus action.
Cutalos has been dogging you the last 2 rounds.
Yep. Okay.
You see Chop Chop pop his head over the counter and go, "Welcome, bestest customer. Best prices just for you."
Now's not the time!
Nice. Whackity whack whack. 2 out of 3. Once again, not bad.
Okay.
And roll another d6. 5 this time. Hi, Cetria. Oh, perfect. He's already targeted on you.
Pray to whatever god you hold dear. It will not be enough.
Ah, my mouse didn't work. Sorry, my mouse was like off and I couldn't get it to move and I wanted to hit counterspell, but I guess I missed it. So go.
You do
That was
pass
really
your
annoying.
concentration check. However, you abysmally fail your intelligence saving throw. And, Cetria, your eyes go blank. They roll into the back of your head. And you fall to your knees as you have been feeble-minded.
Oh,
I want her to
sweet.
re-roll that. I use my ability.
Let's fucking go.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a intelligence saving throw for me. Manually.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we.
yeah, I just got that. My browser connection. He's not gonna save
Yeah, back to reality.
at a -5.
No, this is an intelligence saving throw that is basically a straight roll. So before your
Right.
feeble mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
add
this
your previous
yeah.
bonuses and stuff.
I don't fucking know. Because I'm still saying full-minded stats. In
Oh,
my
gotcha.
sheet.
Give me a moment.
Yeah,
You could just look at your D&D Beyond.
that's what I'm calling up. Yeah, it's so. Nope.
Unfortunately, even with the vision of the future that Avala projects briefly, that shows Kysetria being feeble-minded, she is unable to alter that future. And Joey, you have an intelligence and a charisma of 1. If you have your own point of inspiration, now would be the time to use it.
Sure, we can use it.
Because right
Otherwise,
now,
you become Kilrond.
well, I was going to say otherwise, you are the only creature in all of Arendar dumber than the gnome. Objectively speaking, unfortunately, that is not enough. Despite the best efforts of your mind to hold on to its last vestiges of sanity, you are now reduced to a mumbling, drooling, mindless mass of meat that can discern who your friends are, and you can protect them, but you cannot cast spells. You cannot talk. You cannot communicate. You are borderline an infant in mind. And this will last for 30 days.
Or through greater restoration, wish, or heal.
That is true. Now that you are no longer a threat, Cutalos is going to take his swingy sword action, and he's gonna lay a smack down. There we go. Zaytek, you watch as Kysetria is literally stunted. Her eyes roll in the back of her head, and spittle just comes drooling down her face and down the front of her armor, and you've never seen her like this before. And then she kind of just mindlessly sits on the ground and starts tracing the tile with her finger. And you realize there's a big problem.
A big, big problem. Well,
Girl, she's happy. She's not stressed about.
Her grip on the gnome loosens, and the gnome is out the door.
Oh, gods.
No bites at her dad.
This would have been the opportune time to shield yourself with the gnome. Honestly, if the gnome got feeble-minded, she might be smarter.
I take the gnome off of my back and I hold her like a teddy bear.
She wiggles free. She's out the door.
Well, I'm gonna try this just on a whim here to see, and also to turn his attention away from her, and I'm gonna move, essentially flanking, but it's probably not going to be flanking because she's no longer in combat.
No, you get flanking.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right.
Yeah, because she's still considered an ally. Okay.
And it let me. That was a nat 20.
Here's the question, though: is this actually going to? My brother in Christ, thank you. Is this actually going to work? Are you going to work? Now, I tried to hellish rebuke. Why you be dumb? Hang on. Un momento, por favor. Hellish Rebuke does not ever want to play nice. And he is going to Hellish Rebuke.
Maybe.
Right. Well, Avala's got a reaction for counterspell if she counterspells his Hellish Rebuke.
Why not? Oh, never mind. I only have one spell slot left to do it, so just kidding.
Well, it kind of looks like you just did it.
You did it. Yep.
Rude. Can
I
I
mean-
have my spell slot back?
No.
Didn't want to. Okay, Vala Reflex does it.
And honestly, it's probably a good thing that you did, objectively speaking. Because that was borderline a max level Hellish Rebuke, and it might have downed Satek. Back to back
Damn.
nat 20s.
Back to back nat 20s.
Nice.
Unfortunately, you rolled kind of garbo damage on the second one. But still.
I'm not gonna bitch about it though.
I wouldn't either. Anything else you want to do?
No, sir.
Kassir sees what's going on. Oh. Okay. I didn't sign up for Drooling Cleric. Where'd the fucking gnome go? Oh, fuck. I was gonna buy this on the isolator. Lovely. Where are you? Well, let me see. Oh, you're so lucky that I decided to play nice. Fine, have your mind back. And he casts heal.
No. No!
The peace and tranquility of your simple existence
Is replaced by your existential anxiety.
it is replaced by the fact of two things. Number one, you're still in combat with a looming lich over the top of you. And number two, probably even more dire of a set of circumstances, you have released the gnome. You no longer have the gnome. The gnome is gone. Take 1d12 psychic damage.
Okay.
No, I'm very much teasing. But Kassir goes, that is the only one of those I have. Please, no one else turn into a blithering idiot.
No, please. Kiros, do that again. I was so happy.
He looks at you. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Please hurt me.
There's a brothel down the way.
You're right here.
They do call me Bone Daddy.
Yeah, so does the gnome.
Avala, that brings us to you.
Do you want another daughter?
You really should. You should have stopped while you're ahead. Make a persuasion roll.
I mean, if he still believes that she's his daughter.
I mean, she rolled a natural 20. And so far, the gnome has managed to avoid most combat with the lich somehow. Every time the lich shows up, Ashira's nowhere to be found. So,
Or buddied with him.
Unfeeble-minded.
yes, you are unfeeble-minded.
I still have the stats
Oh.
for.
Hang on. Heal should have automatically taken it away. Give me 1 second. There you go. Unfeeble-minded.
I'm gonna use catapult on one of those plates.
Okay. I mean, he will roll an insight check. You're the aggressor in this situation. Meets it, beats it. He looks at you and goes,
Fuck it, fine.
As of this moment, Kaisetria, your offhand comment, you are now considered an ally of Cutalos for the purposes of combat, and that same disgusting aura that had surrounded Ashira previously is now surrounding the cleric. You will do everything in your power to aid the benefit of Cutalos.
Oh, beans.
Well, fuck.
Avalo, that brings us to you. And you watched. Here's the sequence of events as understood by the party. Kaisetria goes into a stupor, is then cured of said stupor, and immediately sides with Cutalos. That is the events within the last basically 6 seconds. Do with that as you will.
Must be sick.
Oh, also, I do need to. You would have lost your concentration on Beacon of Hope when you were feeble-minded. So I do need to drop it. It didn't auto-drop it, but you would have lost your concentration.
Yeah, take it from me.
I cast catapult on a plate and I launch it at Cutalos' face.
Okay.
I can level. Why not? I still have 3 slots.
Yeah. Fucking smack him with the porcelain plate and it shatters. Right in his desiccated nose.
Features. I mean, she's chosen her path, so sucks to suck.
Cetria does fail her dex saving throw, and you get zapped.
Ta-da! That's me.
Amelia.
All right. Oh, miss. Mother. Okay.
Oh, that's a hit, though.
Okay, good. That was... Okay, and I think yeah, that's gonna do it for me.
Cetria, you must use whatever healing you are able to heal Cutalos. You have chosen your fate.
Let's fucking go.
You can
Should make-
attempt to make a wisdom before you do this. You can attempt to make a wisdom saving throw. If you fail, then you will heal him. If you pass, that will be your entire turn. Give me just a moment. Let me see what his spell DC is. Spellable. Actually, here's how we'll do this. We'll do it as a performance check. You pass. You reach out a hand to heal Cutalos, and then grab it with your other hand and like force it downwards.
No, I hate you. We're breaking up.
I thought you were my daughter. Ew.
Only sometimes.
You, however. Ew. Oops. 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 Help us inflict wounds goes. For your sake.
Perfect. I will don't uncanny dodger shit. Let me
Nope.
undo that and apply that as 36 points of healing. Plus 36.
Then I think I'm pretty happy.
Lilith. We are almost done, by the way. You guys have slugged this fucking fight out. I'm very impressed.
Let's- I'm going to invoke. Have spell slots.
Make sure you target yourself.
Back. Oh. It automatically did it. I
Oh.
lost my own concentration.
Yes, because you take damage.
Alright. Then. Are you?
You're pretty good for the 2 out of 3 shotgun blasts.
Yeah. Okay.
That brings us to Cutilos. And he is going to... As his life force is ebbing away as you guys keep chipping away at him, he utters one more foul, arcane language and once again resummons that circle of death.
Hey, that works out in my benefit.
It's a circle of farts. Let it match.
As long as that circle of death is up, it's going to make it a hell of a lot harder for him to kill me.
Oh, now the counter spell pops up.
No. Nat 20, bitch.
Nat 20 on a counter spell.
And you
It couldn't. I beat.
yeah, he counterspelled your counterspell and you beat him. You barely beat him.
He had to roll a 15 to beat
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, he basically rolled like a 1 on his intelligence check. Like, if he had rolled anything other than what he rolled, you guys would have been fucking turbo cooked. But yeah, and then he's going to flip a coin between Kaisetri and Satek. Satek, you're 1 because you're higher in the initiative order. He rolls a 2. He's going to turn around and smack Kaisetria because instead of healing him like he had commanded, she decided not to. And as he strikes you, the aura that was surrounding you dissipates, and you are now once again considered an enemy of Cutilos.
That was almost max damage.
And he's going to end his turn. Satek, that brings us to you.
Same thing. Flanking, motherfucker.
Stab.
Damn.
Stabby, stabby.
yeah, that's going to be it for the Satan.
Okay, that brings us to Kassir, who is going to...
Honestly, we really need to figure out this blasted fucking lich thing. Honestly, we can't keep destroying taverns like this. It's getting rather old.
And he just sticks his rapier out and gives it a twist, and Cutalos turns into dust and then evaporates into the ether. Give me one moment.
Pay the man for the damages.
Nope. There we go. Chop Chop pokes his head above the bar.
What happened? Oh, you just came out of nowhere.
What the flying fuck is wrong with you people?
And while Chop Chop is saying that, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to face Kassir and I'm going to punch him in the face.
Whoa.
Or at least try to.
Roll a strike.
You don't have
He catches your fist and you find yourself face down on the ground.
Temper.
to.
Don't use the words.
I prefer to use my fist.
If I recall, I might be the sole reason why you're still alive. If you can even call it that. Don't you have something you want to say to the crew?
Not really.
Well, unfortunately, I don't believe you have much of an option. And Kassir lifts up a hand, and it has radiant glowing in it. I would highly consider you talking, maybe not throwing punches, because clearly you're not very good at that. And that is where we are going to end today's session. I know we went a little bit longer, but good lore. Satek's a fucking dope-ass vampire. Fucking sick as shit. Anyways, we will be playing my campaign next week. So looking forward to seeing you guys all there. It'll be interesting to see how the party reacts to Satek and his potential news, or Kaisetria's pseudo betrayal in the middle of combat. Like unintentional betrayal. I mean, I've realized that the more the players talk during combat with little quips, the more things I get to make you roll for. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for choosing to hang out with us. We will see you guys next week for the rest of